What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Today we're doing a Raw recap. Starting off with the Then Now Forever intro. Looked a little screwy. Drew McIntyre comes out. We got a recap of Randy Orton punting Ric Flair. Throughout the intro, the cable feed is messing up. McIntyre addresses Orton's actions. And apparently all the problems we've been having with the TV is because of Retribution in the TV truck causing havoc. Backstage, McIntyre's trying to rally up the troops. Seth Rollins comes in, says somebody is already a leader here. Rollins and McIntyre face off. Alright, this goes nowhere. Then we got the Hurt Business coming out for a statement. MVP tells Retribution that the Hurt Business is open for business. MVP calls him out. Nothing happens. MVP says Ricochet, Apollo Crews, and Cedric Alexander are behind the Retribution. Then, of course, Apollo Crews comes out. He says, "You can't beat me without any help." Apollo Crews challenges Shelton Benjamin and says if he beats Benjamin, that both Benjamin and Lashley are barred from ringside in the U.S. title match at SummerSlam. So that's our match. Shelton Benjamin versus Apollo Crews. This is a match. Partway through it, R-Truth is being chased around by ninjas. He cuts through the ring. This distracts Benjamin. Apollo Crews stacks up Benjamin, gets the pin. After the match, the Hurt Business beat up on Apollo Crews. Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander come running in for the save. R-Truth comes running back out. Shelton Benjamin levels him, pins R-Truth, and takes the 24/7 title. And MVP challenges Apollo Crews to a 6-man elimination match later tonight. Backstage, Ivar and Angel Garza are fighting over a chick from last week. Okay, so that's our next match. Angel Garza versus Ivar. Eric, Andrade, and Zelina Vega are at ringside. Ivar had most of the offense through this match, mainly dominating pretty much all of it. Garza was able to get the better of him, hits him in the head with the dropkick, and gets the pin. Okay. On the Titantron, Angelo Dawkins shows up with that same chick from previously. Starts getting into Garza's business. Hints at a video. Garza goes running backstage. Zelina Vega walks up to Samoa Joe and he's hinting on some video from security. Backstage, Dawkins, Angel Garza, Zelina Vega, and Andrade, and that same chick, meet up with Charlie Caruso, and it's revealed the security cameras caught Zelina Vega tampering with Montez Ford's drink. Vega is still vehemently denying all of this. Montez Ford comes running in, and him and Dawkins beat down Garza and Andrade. Then we got the returning Mickie James and Natalya with Lana at ringside. All of this over Mickie James not having a TikTok. What the fuck? On SmackDown, it's karaoke. On Raw, it's TikTok. I hate to see what they're going to be doing on NXT. Somebody still has a MySpace page, I guess. Through the match, Byron Saxton touts about Mickie James returning being a boon for the women's division. What about everybody else in the women's division that we haven't seen for I don't know how many fucking months? This match basically goes nowhere because partway through, Seth Rollins and Murphy come running up and start talking to Samoa Joe about who his connections are. And we totally fucking forget that we have a match. I mean, most of it is focused right on Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins, and the match is going on in the background. Fuck all was going on with that. Then all of a sudden, oh, hey, the match is going on. Mickie James gets counted out. What the fuck? This is a waste of fucking time. After the match, Seth Rollins gets on the microphone and says if Dominic and Rey Mysterio show up, it'll be the last time they'll ever show up again. They won't make it to SummerSlam. Okay. Then we got Sasha Banks and Bayley in the ring. They talk about Asuka facing both of them at SummerSlam, trying to decide who's going to face her first. Then Shayna Baszler and Asuka come out. They run off Sasha Banks and Bayley out of the ring. And that's our next match. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Shayna Baszler and Asuka. This is another what the fuck match because partway through it, Nia Jax breaks down part of the plexiglass on top of Shayna Baszler, starts kicking her, and no DQ. Although after a bit, Shayna Baszler comes back, she tags in, starts taking over. Outside of the ring, Asuka gets the Asuka lock on Bayley, while Shayna Baszler gets a Carafina clutch on Sasha Banks. She taps out. Okay, this is supposed to be thrown out because Nia Jax attacked Shayna Baszler. DQ, what the fuck? Then we got a recap of the Dominic Seth Rollins contract signing, and then backstage Apollo Crews, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and Ricochet are trying to decide who's going to be in the match. This is quickly followed up by Randy Orton coming into frame, contemplating something. Once again, we got Shawn Michaels talking to Drew McIntyre about his match at SummerSlam. Michaels tells McIntyre to give him his space when he faces Orton. Then in another backstage segment, we got the Australian Bella Twins running down the Riot Squad. Cutting over to Shayna Baszler talking to Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. What the fuck is with all the backstage segment? So our next match is Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. Liv Morgan and Billie Kay are at ringside. It's another match just like last week. There was a bit of back and forth. Outside the ring, Billie Kay and Liv Morgan are getting in each other's face. Peyton Royce pushes Ruby Riott into Liv Morgan, gets Riott back into the ring, hits her with the deja vu, and gets the pin. Alright, whatever. Coming into the third hour, we start Raw Underground. We got Eric with the Viking Raiders versus some nobody. This nobody quickly gets hammered. Dolph Ziggler downplays Eric's performance. Eric calls him out. They have a match. It was okay. Dolph Ziggler was able to win it. I don't think he's won a match in quite some time. Ivar, being pissed off, yeets Dolph Ziggler out into the crowd. And we got Dominic and Rey Mysterio coming out. Rey talks about last week's beating and says that nothing will keep him from protecting Dominic. Rey says he's going to be there at SummerSlam. Dominic says he'll be ready. Rey says if Seth Rollins shows up on ringside, he's not going to make it to SummerSlam. So on the Titantron, Seth Rollins and Murphy show up. Rollins says all of this could have been prevented for the greater good, and the Mysterio name will be sacrificed at SummerSlam. Rey calls out Rollins and Murphy. They come out. Dominic and Rey back out of the ring. Rey distracts both Murphy and Rollins as Dominic grabs 2 kendo sticks, comes into the ring, starts bashing on Seth Rollins. Rey comes in, grabs a stick, starts joining in. Murphy gets laid out. Dominic and Rey start waylaying on Rollins, but Murphy and Rollins was able to escape. Backstage, MVP's talking to Cedric Alexander, trying to stir some shit, trying to get Alexander to recruit over to the Hurt Business. Then back over to Raw Underground, we got Ruiz versus Moss. This wasn't too bad. They let it go for a little bit, they rolled off of the mat, and Shane McMahon calls a match. I don't understand that, but okay. So we got Apollo Crews, Ricochet, and Mustafa Ali versus the Hurt Business in a 6-man elimination match. I'll just cut it quick. Bobby Lashley eliminates Mustafa Ali. Good going WWE with him coming back. Shelton Benjamin hits pay dirt on Ricochet, eliminating him. This leaves Apollo Crews, who quickly eliminates Shelton Benjamin. As Benjamin's out at ringside, Cedric Alexander comes running in, pins Benjamin, takes the 24/7 title. Okay. Apollo Crews eliminates MVP. After a bit of back and forth, Bobby Lashley hits the spear and eliminates Apollo Crews. On the backstage segment, we got Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir talking to Shane McMahon. Okay. Then in a 24/7 match, we got Cedric Alexander versus Akira. This is a complete waste of time. Cedric Alexander wins. After the match, Shelton Benjamin runs in, hits the pay dirt on Alexander, gets the pin. Now he's the champion again. Okay. Back at Raw Underground, we got Marina Shafir versus some nobody. Shafir wins it. Nia Jax come running in, attacks Shafir from behind. Shayna Baszler steps up. Nia Jax leaves. Alright. Then we got Andrade versus Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins, Angel Garza, and Zelina Vega are at ringside. This was actually a good match. Montez Ford was flying all over the place, leaving no quarter for Andrade. Zelina Vega gets on the apron, trying to distract everybody. Bianca Belair comes running in, slams Zelina Vega. Montez Ford gets the roll up on Andrade and gets the pin. And on the final segment of the night, HBK comes out. We get another recap of Ric Flair and Randy Orton. Michaels talks about Ric Flair and how Randy Orton doesn't have the gratitude that everybody else has. Shawn says at SummerSlam, Randy Orton will meet justice either by sweet chin music or a Claymore kick. And as Michaels starts to leave, Randy Orton comes running in, hits Michaels with the RKO, and quickly follows it up with a punt. Runs out of the ring as Drew McIntyre comes running in, and quickly pays for it as McIntyre chucks him all over the ringside. McIntyre goes back to check in on Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton runs in again, hits McIntyre with an RKO, slithers out of the ring, and Orton and McIntyre stare each other down as we end tonight's Raw. Tonight's Raw wasn't that good, and it seems to be a recurring thing with the go-home shows. Raw always seems to fall short. It wasn't all that great. Now, apparently starting this Friday on SmackDown, the SummerSlam pay-per-view, and on next Raw, the WWE is going to be at the Amway Center having an event called Thunderdome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
No, not that Thunderdome. Although it would be interesting if we could see some matches.
2 men injured, 1 man leaves.
No, I said not that Thunderdome. It's supposed to have some interactive screens and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see exactly what they do with this. There's supposed to be some applications to get yourself put up on the screen. I'll be trying to put my application in, see how that goes. Maybe you'll see Fatalroadie up on the screen at one of the 3 shows. And that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.